The worst fails in Geometry Dash explains.
Serves 96% on Bloodbath. In June 2015, during version 1.9, Riot posted a preview of a massive new mega collab designed as a much harder sequel to Cataclysm. It was the first time a top 1 was built properly with a set verifier without being hacked. Previously, we had a bunch of other top 1s that were straight up hacked like Ice Carbon, Diablo X, and Cataclysm. Bloodbath also competed to be top 1 against Cyclic Sonic Wave, which was also hacked. After almost 30,000 attempts,
Dang,
in
every
August
level was hacked.
2015, Riot officially verified it, and it would remain unbeaten for months until a race to beat the level started. Riot was the undisputed best player at the time, but who would be the one to be the first victor of Bloodbath? During the race to beat it first, so many waves of contenders came and went. The first candidates were Smokes and Sandstorm, who were both definitely two of the best players at the time when Bloodbath was verified, but ended up dropping it and not making much progress. The next rivalry that would set the first victor of the level was between two 144Hz players, Serve and Quasar. At the time, Serve was way more known.
I like how they put 144 hertz because, like, at that time, people just didn't have 144 hertz monitors, so it was like specified, you know, oh, this player's 144 hertz, this player's 60 hertz. It's just kind of funny because I feel like now that's like the bare minimum in just gaming in general.
Since he had a lot of other hard demons beat before Bloodbath, while Quasar was not that known in the community and only had Cataclysm as a notable achievement, but if there was something that Quasar was good at, it was flying the ship, which was a main skill to beat Bloodbath. Both streamed and grinded for weeks, even months, until March 5th, Serve would die at 96%. This was not only the biggest...
Yo, I would absolutely crash the fuck out, dude. If I died at 96% on like I mean, dude, I know it's just bound to happen. I feel like everyone who plays the game, you know, dies at like a high percentage, at least at like some point. But bro, like, dude, it's gotta be so infuriating. Like especially like whenever you're like a good player in that regard, and then you just die at like something like that. It's gotta be insane.
At the time, but the fail would also take the first victor title away from him because only a few days later, after a 90% fail, Quasar beat Bloodbath and in the heat of the moment would even say, "Get wrecked, Serve, get freaking served," which made Serve not happy at all and Quasar would later apologize. A few days later, Serve was the second victor of Bloodbath. Although Serve does not admit it, it's very likely that the reason he took a break from the game is because of what Quasar did, beating Bloodbath and roasting him. After all that, Serve had a bunch of other projects that he participated in, like being one of the verifiers of Bloodlust and Yatagarasu, but dropped both due to finger pains. Many people saw Serve at the time as the next Riot, but unfortunately, he was a promise that was never fulfilled. Mafiwi's 98% on Sonic Wave.
Oh, here we go,
I mentioned
bro.
that Bloodbath competed with Sonic Wave to be the top 1 at the time. Well, the only reason that it kept going as the top 1 was because the other creator and verifier of the level, Cyclic, was caught cheating and quit the game shortly after, leaving the level with no victors. After that, during 2016, a massive race began between the top players as well to be the actual verifier of it. Players like Riot and Trusta were dedicated to beat Sonic Wave, but out of nowhere, with no one expecting it at all, a Rising Prodigy player appeared and started to make massive progress on the level. Mafiwi was not the average top player. He didn't climb through levels at all before trying Sonic Wave. His hardest before playing was Decode, an easy demon. Mafiwi would shock the community by making extreme quick progress on his own version of Sonic Wave.
You know why? You know why he probably made quick progress? It's because he's a hacker, bro. No, he's like pulling a space UK. No, I'm trolling. Right.
Which had buffs that made many parts inconsistent and required a higher CPS than Sonic Wave's normal version. He eventually got 72% and then 75%, but a few months later, in March 2016, he had what would be known to be one of the worst fails in Geometry Dash history at 98%. No! It's kind of crazy how quick...
Nah, dude, look at that, bro.
...fails in Geometry Dash history.
Bro bro was dodging every spike like with ease.
98%.
And then he hits the ceiling. Could you guys imagine? That would be like me dying to 9, like I just beat 9 circles today. That's like me dying to 9 circles in like by like hitting like a random spike at the end or like jumping off the last like orb or jumping off the last like bounce pad and then hitting the GG sign. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like some bullshit like that just doesn't, that's just so annoying, just doesn't make sense, bro. Bro is screaming bloody murder. No, bro, like listen.
No! It's kind of crazy how quickly he...
Yo, the cut is like it's so perfect too. Like bro just cut it right after that. Like dude, W editing.
Got ahead of everyone with that fail. And after that, a full 2.0 rework of Sonic Wave was built by Serpunch and funny game called Sonic Wave Rebirth for Mafiwi to verify. Time passed and unfortunately, Mafiwi reduced his activity on Geometry Dash. The game was getting boring for him and he ended up selling his GD account, deleting social media, and quitting the game forever. This fail was extra memorable because the timeline of the game would have been completely different if he beat the level on that attempt. Mafiwi would probably receive more attention and revenue for it, and get involved in way bigger projects in the community. A few months later, Sunix would be the first one to verify Sonic Wave, which was what made his Geometry Dash career take off. Nobleboy is 98% on Bloodbath.
Oh, I've seen this
Still
one.
on version 2.0, after Quasar beat Bloodbath, the creator Manix began building a level called Bloodlust, a remake of Bloodbath itself with many more creators for him to verify. But Quasar ended up dropping the level in August 2016 before quitting Geometry Dash, and it was passed to many verifiers such as Serve, until it ended up being in Nobleboy's hands later on. The level received a bunch of changes during the years to have more variations in gameplay, and so—
Dude, Bloodlust was honestly the first level that actually like brought me like to the game. I remember back, I was sitting on the bus in middle school, and this one kid who I was like really good friends with at the time, he used to play Geometry Dash, and he would post videos. Like, he was kind of in the community. He had like 50 subs, but he was in the community, or he was like at least updated with what was going on. And I asked him what the hardest level was, and he showed me Bloodlust. And at that point, I started playing the game, but I didn't play it at like a high level, or like I didn't even try to grind a lot. I was beating the Rop Top levels and everything like that. But whenever I like watched Bloodlust, I looked it up. I tried to play it on my phone on the bus, bro. And I was like, there's no way someone can beat this level. Obviously, I was on my phone, and it was horrible because, you know, mobile Geometry Dash is just nowhere near as good. But still, it just proved, you know, that it's just a little funny story. That's like, this is the first hard level, or I guess insane extreme demon that came across my radar whenever I was in middle school, bro.
So many decorations improvements after 2.1 came out, including an extension till the end of the At the Speed of Light song. Nobleboy really took his time to verify Bloodlust, mainly because he was involved in so many other projects during those years. During the verification process, Nobleboy would often complain that it wasn't fun for him anymore, and verifying the level felt more like a job than anything else, since he had so much motivation to have it done, but very little to play the level itself. Nobleboy crashed at 98% in June 2017, and only beat the level more than 6 months later in February 2018, showing how much time you can lose by having a failure this big. Bloodlust was placed as the #1 demon at the time, and it made Nobleboy way more famous in the community. Malzy's 9—
Bro, I think that's another thing too, is if you get really far in a level all the way to the end, and you get to like 97% and you die at a spike like that, it's so infuriating, because it's the fact that you can get all the way to that point once again, and then you can die at that exact same spot. It's like, it's so unpredictable, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if you're gonna get another attempt that good, and then you're gonna die at that point again. Like, that's like the one, I feel like it's such a mental block, but it's something that at least goes through my mind. Like, whenever I was trying to complete a hard level, I would always think, what if I get to this spot again, and then my mind starts racing, and then I hit, and then I do the exact same thing that, you know, killed me that last time. It's just such a mental block. It's honestly, I don't know, bro. That's one of the major downsides of this game, bro. It kills your mental sometimes.
The #1 demon at the time, and it made Nobleboy way more famous in the community. Malzy is 97% on Tartarus. Tartarus is a 1.9 to 2.1 extreme demon mega collaboration hosted by Riot. The level started being built even before Bloodbath itself, still when Ice Carbon Diablo X was top 1. It is the first level of Riot's Hell-themed top 1 trilogy, and it was even made an open verification. Anyone who could verify it legitimately would receive a shoutout and other unspecified prizes from Riot. During the open verification, 3 players made significant progress on the level: Malzy, Dolphy, and Metaman RB. The amount of time and dedication Malzy spent on the level was gigantic. In 2019, he died at 97% on the level from 0.
No!
After that, Malzy reduced his activity on the level a little bit, giving others a chance to surpass him, and in January 2020, after 60,000 attempts, the level was finally verified by Dolphy. After Dolphy's verification video, many were suspicious of his legitimacy. Riot and Endlevel teamed up to question Dolphy himself. According to them, he could not answer their questions accurately, and in February, Endlevel released a video exposing Dolphy. A lot of people actually lashed back, disproving most of Endlevel's evidence. Pablo, a player who uploaded a video refuting the points raised by Endlevel, eventually cleared Dolphy from all the drama. Malzy, on the other hand, became the second person to complete the level right after it was verified, beating it in February after 200,000 attempts. A few days later—
200,000 attempts. Bro, I'm gonna be honest, beating 9 circles took me about 9,000 attempts. I could not imagine doing 200,000 attempts on a single level, bro. Like that is insane. And I mean, I'm sure it happens more than I think. I'm sure most, like honestly, a lot of people that play this game do. Like Doggie has over 450k attempts on Grief at this point. It might not be 450, but it's definitely over 400k at this point. And I can see the pain in his eyes, bro. That 400k attempts has to be one of the most. I know someone had 2 million attempts on a level, but I'm pretty sure that was cap or like heavily inflated for some reason. Like I bet you the guy just like left his PC on, died over and over again or something. I mean, maybe, you know, that only makes sense, right? But dude, I could not imagine having over like 100k attempts on a level. It was tidal wave for real, bro. Dang, that's insane though. I don't know, that's insane.
Malsey's verification of Tartarus was rated and placed almost immediately at #1 on the demon list. However, after Dolphy's completion was deemed legitimate, still in February, Malsey requested his version of the level to be unrated and Dolphy's to be rated instead, which was replaced on the demon list as well. Nowadays, most of the people accept that Dolphy beat it legit, but there's still a lot of controversy, and Riot himself thinks that he hacked it, and Malsey should have been the legit verifier. We always gotta
wait.
remember.
So it's still up to this day, and they don't know if he hacked it or not. Or am I getting this completely wrong? Wait, let me know in the comments down below. I don't know.
How those titles are insanely important. If Malsey was the one that verified Tartarus months before Dolphy, the amount of fame, motivation, and revenue he would get would be massive, and a significant part of the game's history would be different. Dill's 98% on Abyss of Darkness twice. Abyss of Darkness was an old layout created by Exon, also known as Nero, and a bunch of other creators. The level went through some drama, but eventually was decorated but never legitimately verified, since it was a harder top 1 for its time. The level was very close to just die and be forgotten, but one extremely underrated player called Dills decided to grind the level right after Tartarus was verified. He made quick progress throughout the months, achieving 18 through 100 and 95%. Even the official verifier title was given to him by Exon, until in July 2021, Dills crashed at 98% literally one click before the level ended. Shortly after, in August, less than a month later, he died at 98% once more, basically a frame away from beating it. It was...
No, this is what I mean, bro. You can grind a level for so long, get to 98%, be so mad, and then you can get to that point again at a later attempt, and then die at that exact same point because, you know, you're thinking too much. You're too nervous and things like that. Like, it's honestly, like, infuriating. Like, it's such a mental thing because you know it can happen, and you're, like, nervous that it is going to happen. And I feel like sometimes... yeah, it gets overwhelming, right? Because you practice it for so long, but you're worried that you're gonna die there again, right? And that makes you extra nervous at that part specifically, and that makes it you more likely to, you know, mess up at that attempt. No matter how, that's why, like, no matter how much you practice a certain part of a level, I mean, it can help a little bit, but to an extent, if you know how to do it, you know how to do it, right? Like, your nerves are the main thing that's gonna determine if you beat the level or not, or, you know, you just get lucky and then you hit it at the right point even though you're super nervous. I mean, there's so much that can go wrong, there's so much that can go right by being nervous, but it's like a double-edged sword.
Certain that he would beat the level at any moment, but then Dills dropped a bomb in the community by announcing that he was dropping Abyss of Darkness after 200,000 attempts due to real-life reasons.
Nerve control,
Abyss
yeah.
of Darkness was later redecorated to look better and verified by Cursed, competing in a race against Trick an entire year later after Dills dropped it. Dills' fails at 98% were massive. For the same reasons as the other ones, he lost the opportunity of being the verifier of a top 1 for over a year and all the possible fame he could have gotten. But due to literally a single click, twice, it slipped out of his hands and changed his Geometry Dash career completely. Wolves 96% on Acuron.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Acuron was a 2.1 mega collaboration hosted by Ryamu and co-hosted by Riot, and was a sequel to Tartarus.
Bro, this is no troll. One of the, like, the most, this is like another level that really, like, got me, like, into the community at least a little bit. Or, like, for a while I didn't play, but I would always, like, watch because I just thought it was so interesting. And I think this game is one of the most impressive games. I was thinking about this earlier today. I was watching a lot of streamers who were reacting to different levels and stuff. I feel like everyone watches these things and are just like, how do people do this? A lot of people who even don't play the game, I feel like, are just so impressed by Geometry Dash because it is just such a difficult game. So
be the verifier of the level initially, and had a massive fail of 96% before dropping it in April 2022 because of physical problems. After that, the level was set as a verification race, which many top players were in like Zoink, Alpha 1 Helix, Doggie, and even Space UK.
Doggie
At the
mentioned.
same time, Zoink wasn't just competing against
And
a
Zoink.
hacker, but he was also playing Acheron in a buffed version, which not only would make it harder than the current top 1 Slaughterhouse, but way harder than it already was. In August, Zoink finally did it. He verified Acheron as the new number 1 demon. This was definitely
I remember
the
this
achievement that made Zoink's career take off and set him as the best player, since it was the first time he verified a top 1, and the timeline of the game would have been way different if Wolves verified it and didn't crash at 96%. Quattrociento's 99% flame wall twice.
Nah. Dude, I feel like everyone's seen this one.
Flame Wall is a 7-minute mega collab that was finished around 2023 and given to the player Alpha 1 Helix to verify. The level was definitely a top 1 at the time and was praised a lot because of its song and decoration. After a few months, oh wait, did I say Alpha 1 Helix this whole time? I hope not. I'm gonna crash out. One Alpha
Flame
Helix
was
dropped
the best level in GD, you think? Dude, I really think it's genuinely, I don't know, how long the level is just, I don't think I could ever do it.
Due to loss of motivation, and passed the level to the underrated player, Quattrocientos. Quattrocientos was stream consistent.
Flame Wall is top 1 in my opinion. Bro, dude, the fact that you have to be so consistent is just like, that's the thing why I think like, dude, it's honestly like, it should be higher on the list. I mean, it's high on the list already, but it should be higher even so.
The level throughout a year and a half with more than 200 streams and 200,000 attempts until in August 2025, Quattrocientos died at 99% on the level. This field didn't change the history of the game.
Yo, what are these cuts, dude? This editor is like tweaking out. Bro just cut it right. Yo.
Died at 99% on the level. This field didn't
Yo, he said "Gah." Yeah, facts, bro, and then he just fucking cut the thing.
Change the history of the game or the level too much, but it was a huge fail due to how much attention it got, especially from outside of the community. The massive news, gaming, and streaming website Dexerto covered Quattrocientos' death and labeled it as the worst fail in gaming history due to how impactful the 99% number was. Quattrocientos would ironically die at 99% once more, until in September, a month later, he finally verified Flame Wall.
Dang, bro.
Zoink's fails. Zoink is the undisputed top 1
here we go,
player
Zoink.
and considered by many the greatest player of all time. But unfortunately for him,
I mean, I think he's undoubtedly the greatest player of all time, bro. Like, is there anyone else who's like doing what he's doing? I mean, Doggie's verifying grief, but Zoink is the number 1 player by a long shot right now. Like, he's beaten so many more levels than everyone. Like, dude, I wouldn't even be surprised if it came out that he was hacking. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that he was hacking. I mean, do I think he's hacking? Probably not. But look at Space UK. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, you never really know. I don't think he's hacking, but I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that he was.
Being this good at the game, he had a massive history of dying at the end of top levels. Before verifying Acheron, Zoink died at 97%. In the next year, while verifying another top 1 tidal wave, he died at 95%, which was literally the last click of the level before the final cutscene. In 2025, Zoink went to verify the Thinking Space 2, and guess what? He died at the last click again at 95%.
Dude, Zoink has had some of the best top 1s that he's like verified, but he's also had some of the worst fails of all time, bro. It's kind of like, it's crazy, bro.
Last quadruple spike before finishing the level. On that same year, while playing the top 3 Amethyst, aiming to be the first victor, he died at 80%, which doesn't seem like a big fail until you realize that the level ends at 81% right before the last cutscene with the final credits, so basically he died at 98% of the gameplay. Zoink would also tie Quattrocientos' death at Flame Wall while going for it, dying at 99% just like he did.
Yo, I've seen this, bro. This is like actually the goofiest fucking... This is the goofiest reaction of all time. He was just so flat, dude. He was just so flabbergasted.
Death at Flame Wall while going for it, dying at 9.
You could just tell how, like, he was so mad that he wasn't even screaming. He was just like get me out of here. Like, I don't want to be alive. Like, that's what, I mean, you could just see it.
99%.
You can see it in his face.
And last but not least, while verifying Orbit, he got stuck at the orb pit at 99%, failing once more on the very last click of the level.
I mean, but that's the thing. Orbit, I don't think Orbit like counts. Because if you think about it, Orbit, I mean, you could misclick so much on Orbit, and it's like it's justified because, or it's not justified, but you get my point. It's like I feel like you can keep dying on Orbit, like or losing on Orbit over and over again and making the wrong click, and it's I mean, it's timing, right? But it's also kind of RNG too. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
Being this good at the game definitely had a price for Zoink, and as the saying goes, no pain, no gain. Doggie 97% on
oh, here we go, bro.
Grief is a top 1 prequel to
The Doggie
Slaughterhouse,
mention.
created by Iced Cave and many other creators, set to be verified by Doggie in 2024 since he was the verifier of Slaughterhouse. There's a lot of lore and history to the level, as Doggie has been playing Grief for more than 2 years and has over 400,000 attempts on the...
Okay, let's think. Doggie died at 97% on Grief. He's been on Grief for 2.5 years. He got the Slaughterhouse title stolen from him by Space UK, who was hacking, bro. Didn't you lose, like, Content Creator of the Year on the GD Awards to Space UK too? Doggie's been through some shit, bro. And that's why I got respect for the man, bro. I got respect for Doggie over a lot of other GD creators. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And I think he's gonna verify Grief pretty soon, hopefully. I mean, we'll see. Who knows?
Level. His situation is pretty similar to Novel Boy's on Bloodlust. Doggie already talked about Grief multiple times and how much he is tired of it. He already took multiple breaks throughout the year so he doesn't go insane, but he's definitely doing it more for the community and his fans than for himself. Doggie got stuck on a record of 80% during 11 months, and many more between 83 to 84%.
That's
but out of
cooked,
nowhere,
bro.
after many streams of being consistent, he jumped straight to a 97% fail, almost fluking the last part entirely. This fail will probably not change the history and course of the level as well.
Well, I mean, he didn't fluke the last part entirely. Hasn't he been practicing this last part for years? It's like, bro, I don't think anyone would have been surprised if Doggie went from 84% to 100. The last part's easy. He didn't fluke. I'm not going to be too critical of the video, but, he didn't really fluke. He just didn't beat the level. He missed the timing at the end, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I'm not going to critique the level too much because this is a really good video, but
just like Cuatro Cientos' fail, it caught the attention of Dexerto once more that posted about it too.
Dang,
Not
bro.
only that, but the hype of the community on Grief was so massive that Doggie's video about the fail got more than 1 million views in less than 24 hours.
Dude, that's insane, dude. There's like, 1 million views in 24 hours. I'm trying to think about who you can even compare that to. That's like dream level numbers, bro. Like, that's insane.
Showing how much the community is committed and excited for it. Doggie is still streaming Grief and trying...
Honestly, I think 100K likes is even crazier than 1 million views. A 10% like ratio on videos, for any of you guys who aren't content creators, like a 10% like ratio is insane. I think that shows how big the community of GD actually is. People who aren't in GD, I think they don't understand that because they see it from kind of an outside perspective of, oh, this is a mobile game. No one really, or it's like, it has like a small community, mainly like kids and stuff, things like that. But dude, GD, I feel like it has a bigger community than people give it credit for. And I think that's why, I mean, you can clearly see it here. I mean, this is the proof. It's right on my screen.
24 hours, showing how much the community is committed and excited for it. Doggie is still streaming Grief and trying to beat it and might verify it at any time.
Dang, bro. W video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the Twitch. Thank you all in the chat for, helping me with this. And, yeah, see you on the stream.
She causing me harm.